Hi everybody, welcome back to Guide to Aviation, where I help you understand the criteria required for you to be a cabin crew and guide you through the process of your dream role. My name is Junette Fernandez, an ex-cabin crew with an international airline, currently working as an aviation trainer with close to 2 decades experience in the field of aviation. On today's session, I will be covering more topics on the criteria required to be a cabin crew. For those of you who are first-time viewers to Guide to Aviation, do subscribe to my channel where you have all the information to the previous session and also first-hand information to the upcoming videos. Most often, there are very eligible candidates who get rejected only on the criteria of height and weight. And many of you might ask, why? So to this session, I'm going to give you an insight to why airlines are very specific when it comes to height and weight requirement. So stay tuned for in-depth information on this topic, and don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and also the notification bell so you have first-hand information to all the topics. So coming to the requirement of height and weight, the question is, why is it so necessary that you need to be of a particular height and weight? So first let me explain to you what is the requirement. For a domestic airline, they would ask for a requirement for female of 155 centimeters, which is 5 feet 2 inches. And for men, they would require 175 centimeters, which is 5 feet 4 inches. For an international airline, the criteria is a little different. For an international airline, they would ask you for an arm reach of 212 centimeters, where you would stand straight and you would point your arm. That is how they would take the height requirement. So now the question is, why does the airline insist on a requirement of height? In an aircraft, you have baggage compartments right above your passenger seat. It's called an overhead bin or a hat rack or an overhead compartment. So prior to takeoff, prior to landing and throughout the flight, these overhead bins have to be kept closed. So in preparation for your takeoff or landing, it's the cabin crew duty to close them. So you would walk around the cabin and whichever overhead bin is open, you would close them. Okay? That's why you require a height, minimum height criteria. Also in the aircraft, you also have emergency equipments that are placed inside these overhead bins. So for you to access them during an emergency, you do not want to climb on the passenger seat and create a hindrance for them. If you're tall enough, if you fit into that criteria, you can just stay. Yeah, so that is one reason why the airline insists on a height criteria. When it comes to weight requirement, there is something called a BMI, Body Mass Index, which tells you what is your proportionate weight to your height. So there is a calculation to it where your weight in kilograms by your height square. I know it's a whole process where you have to go through calculation and everything again, which at the moment we don't want to do. So to make it easier for you, I'll drop a link in the comment section where Google helps you to calculate your BMI and tell you whether your height and weight are proportionate to each other. So do click the link and you can get your BMI calculation without having to do the whole calculation. So if your BMI is between 18 to 25, then you would be under the right proportion, and that would fall under the weight criteria of an airline. Again, the question, why do you need to be of that height? Is it okay to be underweight? Is it okay to be overweight? Be underweight or be overweight is okay. You need to be fit, and an airline requires you to be fit at all points point of time. I did explain to you about the overhead compartments. Now, overhead compartments are of two types. This is what you have in an Airbus, and this is what you have in a Boeing. You can see a difference there. For an Airbus, it is very simple, where you just close those hat racks. There's nothing. It doesn't take you much effort, nothing. You're tall enough, you can just close it. That is absolutely fine. For a Boeing, what happens is, now when that overhead bins are empty, it is absolutely easy. It is very easy for you to close it. You just push it and it will close. So every passenger is allotted 7 kilos of carry-on baggage. So we as passengers, besides our carry-on baggage, we always have tiny bags that we carry along with us. So you have allotted 7, then you have your laptop bags, then you have your duty-free bags, whatever you have purchased from the duty-free. All those bags are going to be stored in these overhead bins. So if each of them are going to carry 7 kilos, so take an approximate weight of 35-40 kilos of overhead bin there, of weight in the overhead bin there, which you are supposed to close there. So how do you close them? You have to push, carry the weight, push them and then close them. If you're underweight, it is very difficult to close them. You need to be healthy, you need to be strong enough to close them. So that is why they insist on you being proportionate to your weight being proportionate to your height. Besides these overhead bins, there are also emergency equipments that you have on an aircraft, like a fire extinguisher, a portable oxygen bottle, a defibrillator, also known as an AED, emergency medical kits, fire racks. There are a lot of emergency equipments that are quite heavy. So when need arises, for you to access these emergency equipments, you need to be of the right height and weight, because they are heavy. These equipments are really heavy. You need to hold them in particular positions, you need to administer them, you need to be fit for them. Besides the overhead bins and your emergency equipments, you also have doors on an aircraft, the ones that you board, you deplane. So they're called emergency exits of an aircraft. Closing them and opening them would require a little muscle that you would have to put into it. Now sometimes we know when we are trying to take something, we are trying to lift something, we get a pull, yeah? That cannot happen every time you're opening and closing an aircraft door. Okay, aircraft doors are different in a Boeing and an Airbus. An Airbus door is quite easier to close, while a Boeing exit would require for you to use that little muscle. So you need again to be really fit for you to do your job as required by the airline. As a cabin crew, you would live in a lap of luxury. You would be accommodated in nothing less than a 5-star hotel. And every hotel would provide you with a gym and a swimming pool that goes absolutely complimentary for the cabin crew. That is provided to you for you to use it. These facilities are provided to you so you maintain your fitness. So while recruiting you, if you are within the BMI of 18 to 25, you would need to stick to that. Airlines wouldn't tolerate you gaining too much of weight or losing too much of weight. Mind you, they would ground you if you have exceeded the weight criteria once you started flying. So this criteria is not just for you to begin your career as a cabin crew, but you have to continuously maintain it while you still continue to be a cabin crew. You have to maintain it at every point of time. I hope this session has given you the information that you were looking for. However, if you still have more questions related to this topic, please drop them in the comment section and I shall cover them for you in my upcoming videos. Please note that my next session would cover more requirements for you to pursue your dream job as a cabin crew. If you have found this session informative, do click on the like button and share it with everyone who you feel would find this informative. Also click on the notification button to stay tuned to all my upcoming videos. Bye bye, until next time.